Virgins and stuff. Yeah, right there. Like I was like saying new version or something like that. Yeah, shit, stuff like that. Black stripe, yellow paint. Scared of it, but the bitches ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at them in the face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sweet inside, my engine roar. It's the big boy, you know what I be roaring. I got the pedal to the metal. Got you niggas checking the game. I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk. There's nothing you can tell them. Just made a million, got another million on my schedule. No love for breaking hearts. No keys, just push the start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nothing. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunting. Up on my time, you see, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Up and down, you know what you said, my diamonds up. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. And the call for my jewelry's just in. And they just love me because I'm only best friend. Not a lesbian, she a friend. This ain't the one that you should throw. I'm sipping the cocoa. So many promises, my watch I need to my next promise. Got a pocket full of big pieces. Throw it up in the front. Yeah, listen, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, it's not.
July break, the August break, I'm not, I can't make that representation to the gentleman. It's just not surprising, I'm sure. But I can tell you, yesterday, as you know, there was work being done on it, and I trust that there'll be work being done on it in coming days. And if we can get to an agreement, we will move it as quickly as possible. But we need to make sure that the protections that are referenced in the document will in fact be the protections that are effective and enforceable. I thank the gentleman. I thank the gentleman, and I share the same sentiment that Ambassador Lighthouser is running a great job. Members on both
Come
sides
here real quick.
address questions, concerns.
I want you to tell them that the internet's not working.
Make sure that those concerns are addressed, whether they're already inside the agreement or if there are other things that can be done to
exactly.
underscore and highlight those concerns. But in the meantime, hopefully we can move beyond trying to get to yes and actually have a bill where we can whip that and get to yes. I know we have a whip team that I've put together on our side that's ready to go, and hopefully your side will be able to get there. It'd be ideal if we can do that before we recess. Clearly, that's not the only way to get this done, but we do have to respect as well that the other countries, our friends Mexico and Canada, have an interest in this as well. Canada has elections coming up. We don't want to have this jeopardized and become something that gets pushed behind their national elections. Ideally, we can get it done well in advance of their elections and respect the fact that they would like this done as well, and the goodwill that's been created between our three countries. So I'm hopeful that we can get through these final issues, get a bill that we can bring to the floor, work together to pass, and then see the benefits in our economy, see an improved NAFTA, a bill that's better for American workers and opening up more access to markets in Canada and Mexico that right now are closed. So I thank the gentleman for the encouragement, and I remain hopeful as well, and would continue to encourage that we get this done as quickly as possible. Finally, on the NDAA bill that we just finished, we had, of course, a disagreement on a number of fronts in terms of the priorities of our military. But I would want to bring up one point, and that was the piece of legislation, the Military Surviving Spouses Equity Act by our colleague Joe Wilson. The majority, when y'all took the majority, you created a new mechanism for members to bring bills to the floor called the consent calendar. This was the first bill that actually met that criteria. In fact, far exceeded the 290 signatures. He had 365 co-sponsors, incredibly bipartisan, to address a real serious problem for spouses of men and women in uniform who died fighting for our country, to make sure that an inequity is corrected that we both agree needs to be fixed. Here is a bill that can quickly get to the president's desk, and maybe it gets included in other pieces of legislation that might come months away. But here is a bill where a member worked in good faith under the rules that were created And it was unfortunate that the rule to bring the NDAA bill to the floor turned off the consent calendar specifically for that bill, that one bill, which happened to be the first bill that met that requirement. I would just ask if the gentleman could maybe look again at bringing that bill to the floor as a standalone bill in respect of the hard bipartisan work that Congressman Wilson made to address a serious problem for spouses, widows of our men and women who die in uniform. And I would yield.
Thank the gentleman for his comment. Joe Wilson, of course, a member of his party. Joe Wilson filed that bill 5 Congresses ago, 8 years ago, and it languished. It was not brought to the floor, it did not pass, and I understand the gentleman's concern, but he ought to also reflect upon that fact that Joe Wilson introduced it 4 Congresses ago, so that we have now included it in the bill. We think it was a proper provision to have in our bill. Of course, all your people voted against that bill, and I would observe they voted against a bill that, frankly, the chairman of your committee, now the ranking member, wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal that said the appropriate level of funding was exactly what we put in our bill. The Joint Chiefs of Staff said that the figure for 2020 was 733. I was deeply regretful that a bill which was the figure that Mr. Thornberry put forward in an editorial in the Wall Street Journal, and I might say I'd had conversations with him subsequent with that recently, which confirmed to me that he still held that view. Notwithstanding that, every one of your Republicans voted against that, I think. Am I correct on that?
Everyone is.
Everyone voted against it. And it was the largest, there was this complaint about the size of the military pay raise. It was the largest raise for our military in 10 years. Now, we were in charge 10 years ago, and we're now back in charge, which means we've had the 2 largest raises, and that was included in your MTR. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I would hope the whip would, as we do so often,
are starting to acquiesce to what has been a global trend in central banks. So you're not getting major pockets of monetary policy divergence that would give rise to significant currency moves. So you can draw an analogy from that to any attempt to manipulate the currency, which is that they're all kind of moving in tandem right now.
What a time. We're actually having a substantive conversation about potential U.S. dollar intervention. All right, thanks here to Benjamin Mandel, J.P. Morgan Asset Management, Global Multi-Asset Strategist. All right, coming up, a big week ahead. Stay prepared for earnings. We're going to discuss what to expect